Namaste, my friend. Never leave studying the book again and again and again. Why, every time you're reading the book and you're listening to the talk and doing the practice, the mind will replace all the impurities with the purities. And the purity of the thought, speech, and action leads to the discovery of permanent peace and happiness in life. If I ask you a simple question, how do you find the journey? What changes has taken place since you started this journey? More calm, peace, joy, happiness. So these experiences helps us to go deeper, to find the permanent peace and happiness. If I ask you how many times you were upset, anxious, fully busy since the last session, how many times? That will tell you, the frequency will tell you you are progressing or not progressing. And it will also tell you the impurities has returned again, or the new wrong notions is causing the trouble in your mind. So when we have a clear understanding, means I have the right knowledge and I do the practice. So that frequency of getting upset and anxiety, duality, and a conflict drops down. Intensity becomes very low. Intensity of getting into anxiety, duality, and a conflict that we don't realize in the beginning. But as continue to live in higher awareness, it happens. I realize we have no right to die before we learn and study, discover and realize permanent peace and happiness. That is the only goal of life of every human being, whether they recognize or they do not recognize. Whether they are following the path or they do not follow the path. Look at your son who continued to follow the path and then left in the middle, and you told me everything about him. You are not happy, even though he is very rich. You are happy with the other son who is not rich. You are supporting him financially. How come? Because the inner mind, the mind deep inside, is always pure. It wants to be kind, it wants to be compassionate to those people who follow the right path. And it becomes very difficult for those people to stay compassionate who are drinking and driving and craving for the same pleasure, doing the things that does not fit the norm of the society. That somewhere deep inside that pure mind, at the time of contemplation and reflection, means contemplation and reflection means you are full of the right knowledge, and then it observes and recognizes what it recognizes. We are not worthy of suffering. what it means I'm not worthy of suffering, stress, and struggle in my life. Because I'm a human being, because I have an intellect, and through the intellect I can understand what thought, speech, and action takes me to the stress, struggle, and suffering, and what thought, speech, and action delivers, makes me free from the suffering. Don't you see that? Don't we have an intellect? Don't we have? So these principles are so simple. What is simple becomes very difficult when the mind follows the path of a wrong notion. So when we follow the wrong notion, what is this? Ignorance. When we follow the right notions, right understanding, what is this? Have you heard the proverb, ignorance is bliss? Ignorance is bliss. Not only ignorance, but knowledge of the real self is also bliss. Complete ignorance is bliss, and complete knowledge is also bliss. Bliss means permanent happiness. Complete ignorance means what? Maybe that I ignore what is right and good. Complete ignorance, or ignorance also means that I follow the wrong notions. Ignorance also means that I do not know what, how I should be living my life. I should be living my life with the real self that I don't know. Ignorance also means that I am doing what I should not do. I am expecting. I react to the things I should not do. Let me think. Let me follow the right knowledge and then respond. The greatest example of ignorance is bliss is deep sleep. You are in deep and sound sleep. You woke up in deep sleep. You don't know anything what the mind is doing. You don't know anything about the impurities of the mind. You don't know where is your body and the mind. When you woke up, you say, wow, I had a sound sleep. I'm totally fresh and calm. Tell me, is it? Yes, it is. But living in complete ignorance do not give me the knowledge that how much craving, reaction, anger, hesitation, and expectations are already stored in my mind. I don't know. And it can trigger any time, in any situation, in any event with anyone, even with the near and the dear ones. Do you plan to be angry? No. You do not plan to be angry. Do you plan to be agitated? Do you say to yourself that tomorrow I will be in stress, I will suffer, and after that I will calm down? No one ever thinks and dreams and desires to be in stress, hesitation, reaction, anger, duality, and a conflict. So, unless I know the cause of it, unless I explore in the deeper layers of my mind. First, I recognize them by understanding, then I should follow whatever the practices were there, and we are releasing all those impurities of the mind. Otherwise, it may trigger living in ignorance. Did you understand? Complete ignorance is bliss because I don't know what is happening inside me. And what will trigger the next moment in the form of a reaction, anger, anxiety, duality. But now I have a complete knowledge. Complete knowledge is also bliss. What is complete knowledge? I know body, mind, intellect, and the ego are not me. I am the real self of the nature of peace and happiness. What does it mean? I am a sweetness of a sugar. But mind says no, I am a sourness of vinegar. How come it happens? Because of incomplete knowledge. So when the ignorance and the knowledge are mixed up wrongly, that is the cause of all the stress, struggle, and suffering. Are you understanding? Please say yes with a smile. Incomplete knowledge. I don't have a complete knowledge of the driving. It happened to me when I came here. So in India, it was a left hand driving, and here is the right hand. And I started driving on the left hand. I recognized the next moment and I changed my lane. But now ask that I know it, that it's a right hand driving. I have read the rules of the road. I got the driving license and still I started driving. Ignorance. The mind accumulated the impressions of the left hand driving in the mind. So the moment I started driving, I drove on the right side, and just after that, mind impurities, that ignorance pushed me, triggered me. This is what happens when we say I'm experiencing stress, struggle, problem, reaction, anxiety, duality, conflict. They all are siblings. So our masters of the Eastern wisdom teaches us or wants to educate us to understand. First, 50%, I would say, first in the journey there should be 50% knowledge, 50% practice. Or we may think of that if we do not understand, do not reflect, do not study, then 80% practice, 20% knowledge. So as we become a seeker, almost it is 80% knowledge, 20% practice. You are the highest level of a seeker. I would say 90% we need knowledge, means understanding. 5% practice. Why I said so? So when I'm living with the knowledge 95% of my waking life, where is the question of any form of anxiety, duality, conflict, and stress? No one can do the practice 24 hours. But we can live in the knowledge 24 hours. Don't you live in the knowledge? Are you not a woman that you remember all the time? That is a knowledge. Don't you know where your house is located? Do you need to do any practice to locate your house when you wake up in the morning? Understanding, understanding. No, I know my house, I know the address, and I can reach there from anywhere, from any part of the world. If that is true about this knowledge about your house, why not it is possible to be in peace and happiness with that knowledge night all the time? Why we are talking, why the teacher talk? To make us understand the constant listening and learning, followed by the contemplation and reflection. So you start thinking the way I'm thinking, at least for this week. So the way I am thinking for you means in the form of a talk, you start thinking in the same way for yourself. I can bet you what I have to bet you. Your mind will declare I'm not worthy of suffering. It is possible. It is 100% possible. So what we were talking about the incomplete knowledge. Means what? Ignorance is mixed with the knowledge, and the knowledge it is mixed with it has a wrong notion. I cannot be in peace and I cannot be in happiness. Others are responsible. Hundreds of wrong notions. I'm in peace now, but if someone comes, it makes me crazy. So it means that guy is full of craziness. He passed on that craziness to you. This is incomplete knowledge. That is why we need to understand. I made a very important point. You have a knowledge. You need not to think, recognize that you are a woman when you wake up in the morning. You know it by default. So when you know by default that you are peace and happiness, where is the problem? That is the journey we have undertaken. Otherwise, this mind keeps on imagining. It imagines from the impressions that our mind has already stored inside. Very important point. Another important point. A guy comes, or a girl or comes to you. You are face to face with him or her. Do you see the craziness written on his or her face? No, we don't see anger, hesitation, duality, etc., etc. We don't see is written on anybody's face. Now, your past impression of dislike about that person makes you conscious. Your face expression changes. You are ready to react. Who is responsible? Tell me. Did you get my question right? A person enters, knocks the door, you are face to face with that person. Does that person says to you, or is it written on that person's face that this guy is crazy, this guy is full of stress, this guy is going to cheat me? No, it is not written there. But how my mind concludes and blames and complains and reacts, it is happening in the mind. That is what I said, complete ignorance. is also bliss. But now it is a complete ignorance. My mind is clear. Complete knowledge, mind is still clear. Mind has no opportunity to react. Are you getting it? Another point, conclusion, very important point. You have to listen to it again and again. 1 week. So, what happens when I'm awake? I meet that person, but I'm not aware. So, when I'm not aware, the complete ignorance takes over my mind. What is that ignorance? That ignorance is the impressions accumulated in my mind in the form of the impurities. They, they, they are working inside before I speak or react to the person. Are you clear? That person face does not have or no situation chases me, I will give you the stress. No celebration chases me that I will give you the pleasure. It is inside me, inside my heart, feeling and emotions. My mind gives a wrong interpretation. One aspect I can define in a different. My mind gives the interpretation. I do not judge, but that interpretation is based on my wrong notion that triggers the whole system into an emotional dependence in the form of a reaction. I have yet to speak in reaction, but the reaction is already there in the mind. Ask yourself what I get by this. I get nothing. We will go and find out the cause of it. That is different. Have you understood this entire talk? Complete ignorance is also bliss, but it is full of the past impressions stored in the mind as an impurity in the form of a reaction, anger, hesitation. Whatever is inside me, it will come out. When it will come out, in any situation, in any relationship, in any event. Christmas celebration is a celebration of joy and happiness, but my mind, what comes out? Birthday celebration is good, but what comes out? Complete ignorance. So the master is saying complete knowledge is required. So when I'm awake, that we are awake, awake, that is okay. But am I aware? So in order to raise our level of awareness, we do the practice. We have many practical, I would say, active steps or passive steps. So let us do one simple active steps that I gave you in the very beginning. Do you remember? Let us do it. I close your eyes. Close your eyes is the passive step. Make your body comfortable. I gave you the instruction, and you have to do the practice with understanding. Did you close your eyes or did you squeeze your eyes? That is the difference between awake and not aware, and awake and aware. No, this guy told me just close my eyes. Why should I squeeze my eyes? Do I feel the stress on my eyelids? It means I have squeezed my eyes, my wrong interpretation in the mind. Why it is happening? Because I am awake, no doubt. That's why I heard the instructions, but I am not aware. Now I am awake and aware. What is the instruction? The eyes are gently closed, and I further explain place the upper eyelid on the lower eyelid gently. A feeling of touch is there. Comfortable. It is also a passive step. Understand this. So whatever the passive steps, 99% is the knowledge and understanding. In passive steps, yes. So being comfortable, I don't say become comfortable. So being comfortable, your eyes are closed, you are aware of the neck joint. I used to give you the instruction, you are looking at the neck joint. Who is looking? The mind's eye is looking, not your physical eyes. So when the mind's eye is looking, it means you are aware, you feel. Okay, you feel. What do you feel? Because you are not doing anything. And what is your experience? Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shoulder joints. Your understanding is very clear. Yes. What is that understanding? When I said shoulder joints, you become aware of that. You feel. When you feel, there is a natural experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The mind that has been jumping all around, it drops its jumping. Why? You are awake and aware. How? You understood the knowledge. Being comfortable means you are not doing anything but aware. The entire body. What does it mean, entire body? You are aware and you feel. You experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. But if the mind, those impressions in the mind triggers, that means mind is not ready to be comfortable. But it normally happens. I take for granted that you are comfortable. Now comes the next step, is also passive step, is being carefree. So I explained you, like the highway, 3 lanes highway, mental highway is also the 3 lane. First lane, lane number 1, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are there. We are understanding. Why? Because we are doing a passive step. Passive step is almost equal to a non-practice. Second lane is the intellect that is ready to observe. That is where we become aware. The moment you are on the lane number 2, lane number 3 consists of natural state of calmness and peace. You know how it will work. Let us see. You're comfortable. That you agree, you accept, you experience. Lane number 1, you Unwanted thoughts, unwelcome and unwanted thoughts, feeling and emotions are there. They are coming, they are going, they are staying. Lane number two is observing. So instead of driving your car, that is the mind, you are driving in the lane number two when you are aware of the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. What will happen? Your mind will jump to the lane three, that is calmness and peace. But how it is possible? Unless I get rid of the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. When you are driving in the lane number two, you are aware, you are observing. So, what happens by observation? You recognize that you are separate from the lane one. When you are separate from the lane one, you need not to fight. You are already driving the lane number two. Now we have to note down here the frequency, intensity of the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. There is one possibility, first option, that these unwanted, unwelcome thoughts dominate over you, dominate over your intellect. So you move from the lane 2 to the lane 1. You become the lane 1, and that's why where you say that I am in stress and I have a lot of challenges. I have yet to reach to that state of peace and happiness. But these unwanted, option 2, lane 1, option 2 is these thoughts are coming and going, and you are enjoying watching them as if they do not belong to you. You are separate from it. You have already achieved calmness and joy. Sometime it happens, sometime it doesn't happen. Option 3. That is what I said. Incomplete knowledge or living in ignorance. So the previous steps are totally passive, where we need 95% of the knowledge. We apply the 95% of the knowledge, and 5% of the practice, the eyes are closed and you're comfortable and carefree. But if it is not happening, then we have to move to action part. Hundreds of actions in our personal, professional, social life that we will discuss later. But what to do now? So now see the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts is dominating you, and at the same time you are aware and you start breathing. Quick and gentle breathing from the rib cage. Keep your focus deep inside the forehead in the space. Your focus remains inside the forehead. Body remains in the state of being comfortable and carefree. Thoughts are coming and you are doing a quick, short and gentle breathing through the rib cage. Every time you inhale, you expand the ribs. Every time you exhale, you squeeze the ribs. So everything is intact. You are fully aware of doing the practice. Keep on. And stop this. Recognize, accept the changes in the experiences at this moment. The one experiences of unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, and the second experience of calmness, freshness, quietness, more energy, and a lot of people they share their experiences differently. We will understand that why it is so. But at present, you recognize, you realize the changes that is taking place. Don't start paying more attention to the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, feeling, and emotion. That part is the understanding. So we are entering by active practice, we are entering into 50% of the practice and 50% of the knowledge. My friend, if your mind keeps on getting obsessed with unwanted thought expectations, even when you are doing an active step, the result doesn't come. Or it will come after many, many weeks and months and years. So we will be doing now the semi-active step. Gently, you start inhaling into your belly. Check that the belly expands like a balloon. Continue to inhale into your rib cage also. And while breathing out, the lips remain together, eyes closed. Keep your focus inside the forehead and do the humming sound. What is the secret of it? Secret of success in this practice? Your inhalation is deep, silent, and slow. Your inhalation is complete as much as possible. Your inhalation is complete. How to recognize your belly expands like a balloon, your rib cage expands completely. I'll tell you the secret behind it later. And when you start doing the humming sound, your breath is coming from the nostrils. And that exhalation is as long as your inhalation. At the same time, your focus is inside the forehead. Did I not tell you 50% of the knowledge and 50% of the practice? Combine the two. Continue doing it. One more point. While doing the humming sound, your mind will object that I cannot do such a long humming. You can do it. So, what is troubling? The same storehouse of the past impression. It triggers a reaction. I cannot do it. Here we have to do it. Come what may. Why? To change the mind. You're doing an active step with understanding. Keep on. Did you hear the longer version the way I did it? The same way you are playing with the breath. Just think. Push the mind to think that you are playing with the breath. During inhalation, it is deep, silent, and slow. During exhalation, it is a rhythmic sound of humming. And now stop this, do nothing, recognize and accept the changes that you are experiencing now. You are aware of the head and the neck. Then you are aware of your experience of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. It simply means your mind is living within. Means you are living with your mind in the lane 2 and the 3. When that understanding is settled in the mind, no situation, condition, event outside in the world has a power to cause you any kind of stress. Did you understand? That is why we are doing it. Why I said so? Understand it again and continue the step. Awareness of the right arm. Whether I say look at the right arm, experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. For a moment, just think, is this sensation, relaxation, and stillness depends on your relationship with the people outside, your situation, your condition in your life, any event, or it is independent of everything outside the world. It is definitely independent. If that is so, why I can't to think, speak, and act in my life independent of anything and everything in the world outside? Wait, let your mind say, yes, I can. When your mind says, I can, you have a joy of living. Move the mind. Look at the left arm. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Enjoy that this moment. Why this sensation, relaxation, and stillness and the joy is independent of anything outside, any event, any situation. What it declares? It declares that, what it declares? It declares that we are not worthy of suffering, stress, and struggle in our daily life. Why? I'm independent. Look at the middle portion of the body. sensation, relaxation, stillness. Sense of calmness is there in the presence of unwanted thoughts also. Why? Any kind of a thought of reaction, blame, and complaint. They cannot touch your inner calmness, peace, and the joy. My dear friend, that understanding, if it is supported by such a small and simple practice, this week, you become the highest level of a seeker, and then it takes a couple of weeks and months to reach to the highest state. Again, check it. You're doing the practice and you're checking. You're aware of the right leg. Awareness, awake, experience, sensation, relaxation, stillness, experience calmness. When we are calm, there is already a joy. Then understanding what is that knowledge. This experience is independent of anything in the world outside, any location, any time, any situation, any relationship. Is it not? Let your mind say yes. And if that is yes, then are we worthy of suffering? No. Look at the left leg, be aware. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Calmness, joy. Does this experience depends on anything outside? In the beginning, you may say, no, it depends on you. You are giving me the practice. Yes, it may appear as a fact, but the real fact, this is an alternative fact. You might have heard about it. What is the real fact? That it is the mind living, your mind is living in higher awareness, separated itself from all the impurities of the lane one. That is the real fact. We are not worthy of suffering. Remain as you are, looking at the entire body. Mind is looking at the entire body, experiencing the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Calmness, joy. We are not worthy of suffering. Let your mind say it, feel it. Why? Peace and happiness is my essential nature, and that is what I am discovering. Do nothing, no movement of your hands, but open your eyes gently, slowly. In that state of your eyes are open, body is still in the state of steadiness. Experience that state. No need to be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. I may be moving the body, but you don't move. Wait. Wait for what? Now, with eyes open, you are awake and also aware. of the lane one of the mind. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are moving there. The lane two, you are already in the lane two. It means you are separated. So the mind jumps to the lane three, which is calmness and the peace. Keep on, continue in that same state and check what prevents you not to be in the same state 24/7. Is it because of the person, people, relationship, condition, situation outside? Or you jump to the lane one? What is the meaning of jumping to the lane one? You are awake, no doubt, but you are not aware. We are not aware means you forget your essential nature, that is peace and happiness. So when you forget, then what happens? Your mind identifies you with the lane one. Not only unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, but the impressions that is stored of likes and dislikes, of duality, of conflict, of expectation. Nobody can notice. I told you that if a person is in face to face with you, you don't see in his or her face the stress is written, reaction is written, praise is written, there is nothing written. No, but then why I get upset with the person? Lane one has some score to settle based on our likes and dislikes, reaction, anger, anxiety. So that boils down on the lane one with reference to a person outside, situation outside. Then my thinking, my speech, my action, everything changes. So when everything changes, then what happens? Did you understand? You are still in that state and you are listening. Now it is 100% knowledge. Forget about even 95%. You look at me. Ask your mind to think about me. Is it conscious thinking? Can you think consciously of anger, of hesitation, of stress, of duality, of a conflict? Can you consciously think and plan to be angry tomorrow at 5 a.m.? No, I was sleeping. Okay. Can you plan to be agitated tomorrow at 10 a.m.? No. What that means? You are in a lane two. You are still in the lane two. Let us do nothing. Remain aware. I'm looking at you and you are looking at me. At the same time, you are aware how the mind is thinking. What are the thoughts and feeling and emotions are there? You are simply aware. Why you are aware? I said you, whatever is happening in the lane one, you are already separate. You are in the lane number two. What it means, you are observing, you are watching. How you are watching? The way. While doing a morning or evening walk, we are aware of the traffic moving on the road. We don't fight with it. We don't struggle with the traffic because I'm walking on pedestrian. Are you getting it? This is, I should not say, but I'm using a wrong phrase for a right reason. This is the knowledge practice. There is no knowledge practice. Knowledge is not practice, knowledge is understood. Clarity. That is why meditation or mindfulness is known as, for the highest secret is possible. What it is known as? It is known as non practice. Why it is a non practice? Understanding, knowledge, wisdom. Knowledge applied is wisdom. You're going for a morning walk. This mind continuously does morning, afternoon, evening walk every time, all the time. That continuous walking of the mind is the lane one. They have just to separate by force, no. By awareness, yes. By recognizing, yes. What is this recognition? Is that will help us to purify the mind in the beginning. Once the mind is purified, the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom can be assimilated, digested, absorbed. What will happen? Now just take it easy. You can still move the body but remain in that state. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The eyes are already open. Live into that state and check this week how the lane one, which thought, which impression overlaps the lane two, causes you the stress, struggle, and suffering. Please let me know so that I can customize the next.